addicted to using ChatGPT.
Humanizing AI. Do you want to live in a world with nothing but stupid people and robots? I don't.
AI is everywhere. It's writing your essays, it's choosing your content, and for some people, it's even your friend. And while we're all amazed at what it can do, it's time to stop and think about what it's doing to us. And that's exactly what we'll be discussing in today's video. We're going to be discussing how AI is quietly controlling us, but specifically Gen Z and Alpha, as they're the younger generation who's growing up with AI and is utilizing AI in a very unique and different way. So with that being said, if you like this kind of content, be sure to subscribe. And without further ado, let's dive right into this video.
Using AI to cheat in college is just dumb. Colossally dumb. Monstrously dumb. Catastrophically dumb. I've been teaching college level English for over 20 years, and let me explain it for you.
Before he gets into this, I will admit and say that yes, you have been, a collegiate teacher for over 20 years, and people have been cheating for 20 years. Now, obviously, ChatGPT is very different. Even like in the iPhone, I believe there's like things you can do with a calculator, and you can just like scan a problem in order to like solve it in your notes app, some crazy stuff. But I know for me, back in the day, in the early 2010s, we had Quizlet. Quizlet was it. Like Quizlet was, I guess, the way to cheat through college, honestly. Like verbatim, like quizzes were on a Quizlet all the time. So we had ways to cheat. Like cheating is stupid in general, especially if, well, I'll say this. If it's for a major you need for your career, then I think it is stupid for you to be cheating. Like you're paying for this bill, you're paying for this degree, you're gonna be knowledgeable in what you're majoring so you can get a job. So like, what's the point of cheating? You wanna be good at what you're gonna do. If you're cheating on your filler classes or just classes that don't pertain to your major, that's a different conversation. But I will say, cheating has always been around. However, it definitely is different nowadays.
The money? I mean, college is a ripoff at this point. It is exploitative. The college loans are a scam of a monumental degree, and you are paying tens, hundreds of thousands of dollars, risking a lifetime of debt to learn absolutely nothing, spending thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars to get nothing in return.
And be sure to subscribe, because I will do a video on just college in general and why some people think college is a scam. But there are a lot of people who college is paid for by their parents. Like, yes, there's a lot of people out there who take out student loans, but even then, for those people at 18, you're not in that mindset. Like, I remember getting refund checks and thinking like that's just free money. No, that's part of the loan I took out. Like, there's just some things that, college kids just don't think about, and especially when it's your parents footing the bill. So that's a little context.
I think a good analogy is spending thousands of dollars, many thousands of dollars to go to a gym, hiring a really good personal trainer, and they say, do X, Y, and Z if you want to get stronger. And you say, sure, coach, I'm going to do that. And instead of doing the exercises, you sneak off and getting pec and calf implants. Sure, you look good, you look like you got muscles, but when it comes to perform, well, you got nothing. And what's worse is you didn't have to spend the money on the gym. You could have just gotten the implants directly. It's the same thing with college. If you want to show cheated work and learn absolutely nothing for it, you don't have to go to college to do it. There's no point in doing it, but there's no point in doing it if you go to college. And again, you've just wasted tens of thousands of dollars.
That's a very valid argument. Very valid. Why would I go to the gym and get a personal trainer, pay that money? They're expensive, pay that money, and then not listen to them. So why are you in college just cheating? That's a waste of money. Fair point. Fair point.
Because here's the real secret, all right? I teach English. I assign essay after essay, tens of thousands over the years. Your essays don't mean shit. No one is reading your essays, okay? I am, and I'm the only person, and I honestly don't really care that much. The product itself is not the point. The thing that AI is going to give you is not the point. The point is in doing the essay and learning how to write it, you are learning valuable, essential critical thinking skills. Comparison and contrast, process analysis, organizing your thoughts, developing your thoughts, learning about inquiry, learning about research.
Damn, that's very true too when you look at it from that point. Because on one end, he's agreeing. He's like, no, he's acknowledging, hey, most of your essays are BS. What you're writing about is BS, but it's the act of doing it that is the knowledgeable part. And I would get behind that. It's the act of thinking, okay, I'm going to say this and this, organizing your thoughts, doing the research, putting the puzzle piece together. That's really critical thinking that you can apply to various aspects of your life. Those tools and how to navigate through life and communication, that's really good. That's such a good point. And I like that he had acknowledged that most essays are a waste of time, but it's the act of doing the essay that is extremely valuable.
Those are the skills that are going to guide you through your daily life. They're the ones that are going to help you avoid bad decisions, that are going to add meaning to your life, that are going to help you solve problems. It's not the essay. It's the writing of the essay. It's the learning of the essay that actually benefits you. And when you use AI to skip all that, well, you're spending thousands of dollars to learn absolutely jack shit. So if you want to cheat, go ahead and cheat. You're just giving more money to rich people, and you're going to end up being angry and bitter and like, well, I didn't learn anything in college. Yeah, dumbass, because you didn't try, because you cheated.
It makes a lot of sense. And I can only imagine now, if you're Gen Z and Alpha, if you're in high school or you're like in college, what it's like writing a paper. Because for me, the most AI that I had in college was Grammarly. Like that was it. It was just like proofreading, but nothing that ChatGPT can do at all. And it makes me wonder, like, you know, all the thinking I did have to do in my head to process an essay, are kids getting that deep thinking now? And if they're not, how will that translate in the real world? And what is the effects of utilizing AI in this way to just cheat your way through college? Probably not the smartest thing, mainly due to the act of learning. Not what you're learning, but the act of learning matters a lot more in certain cases. When your kids won't stop using AI to cheat on homework, I've been teaching for 24 years. This is becoming a big problem. This is so disheartening. Yeah, I feel like this whole using AI to cheat your way through school, it's apparently becoming a bigger problem and teachers are speaking out about it. I did play this video. It's only 15 seconds long. She's just talking about how all her students are cheating and she feels very disheartening like being a teacher because she's teaching, but the students are just running to ChatGPT to cheat. But I say that because I can't play the video because of music copyright. But that's what she's saying. And there's more teachers voicing this concern of, hey, what is the point of me teaching right now if all they're going to do is cheat? Which I do think this gets into the education system. Be sure to subscribe. But there are some changes that need to be made to both the education system and how we utilize AI in schools and in our jobs, because it can be really useful. It's a great tool. However, AI only knows what we tell it. And yeah, it can generate things, but it's only generating things because everybody else has put their own opinion or twist on it. When you go to ChatGPT and you put in, or whatever, Sora or whatever, you put in, make me a Western screenplay, it knows what Western is because of what we fed it. That's the only reason it knows what Western is. So it does make you wonder, like, what are we going to do about this situation? Are we going to start utilizing AI and teaching about it and making students know when it can be useful? Are we going to build stopgaps to help teachers identify when someone's cheating? Because I have seen that, and there's things like anti-cheating software or whatever, but sometimes that can be wrong. So it really does almost default to like a trust basis, like, hey, please actually do your work and don't cheat. But even then, I feel like if students, I mean, really K through 12 and even college, I feel like if they were passionate, truly passionate about what they're learning and what they're doing, there would be no reason to cheat because they actually do want to learn about said topic. So maybe that's a way the education system gets shaken up, in that, hey, we're going to expose you to a lot of different learnings and you're going to study a lot of different things, and that can help you hone down on what you want to do, but in an earlier step, because there is no reason for me to spend all those years in high school on courses that I didn't need. Again, there are some courses, there's some homework assignments where the work can be stupid, but it's a process of doing the work that the learning is applied to, like the whole essay example. I get that, but we do need to solve this problem of wasting time in public school, but then also telling students that they need to go to college when they're graduating and having a hard time finding a job. Something's got to give.
I only use AI for X class because I'm never going to actually use that material in my job that I want. That line of thinking is so damaging. Do you not realize that learning in itself is a skill? Tons of people have commented on my video where I said, if you are using AI to cheat your way through school or work, then don't be surprised or angry when AI replaces you at your job. And that is a fact. You are quite literally training your role to be replaced by AI by using it for your role. All of the people that have said, I don't use AI except for when blah, 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 like this person is saying. Tons of people are saying that they only use it for classes that they are never going to use that material in their job, so why should they need to learn it? I'm a neurolinguistic master practitioner, just so you know. So I study a lot of patterns in the brain. And here's one thing that you all need to understand is that your brain is comprised of patterns. Every single thing that you have learned, every behavior you have, it is a pattern in your brain. As simple as literally learning how to read and write, learning how to hold a spoon, learning how to do anything, it's a pattern that was created in the brain. If you want to keep your mind more flexible and adaptable and malleable, creating new patterns in the brain, learning new skills, that is what is going to keep your mind sharp.
Now, here we go. In the beginning of the video, I did say, unless it's for a class you don't want to use, then I guess it's fine. I'm low-key changing that whole mindset because of this really good example. Now, did I use Quizlet in the past? Yes, for some classes, or some exams last minute, but it's nothing to the scale of what we're talking about in this video. That's a good point. There will come a point where I feel like everybody's just gonna be dumb because you're relying on ChatGPT to answer everything for you. And there does come a point to where you're not sparking new neural pathways. You're not stimulating your brain enough. And that's what we tell old people to do it all the time. When you 70, 80, 90, we tell people, oh, like do puzzles, do like crosswords, like really stimulate your brain so that you stay around longer and it stays sharp. So we're only telling old people that because they're not in areas where they like really need to be stimulating their brain. Whereas someone in a high school or in college, it's a very stimulating environment, but that stimulating environment is disappearing because of AI. So now, what does it look like when we have kids being raised and they're not thinking at all? What is it actually doing to the physical brain? That's crazy.
That creating new patterns in the brain helps prevent things like Alzheimer's and dementia. But that's besides the point. The point is, I do not care if your dream job is to be a circus clown. I don't care if your dream job is to be a comedian. I do not care if your dream job is to ride bulls at the rodeo. I don't care how far removed your dream job is from the concrete material that you are learning in whatever class you're talking about using AI for, because you will not need this material in your dream job. The things that you will learn in a class, whether you will use that actual material in your real life, in your job, that is irrelevant. It is all about the act of learning. Oh, I'm never going to use this for my job. Yes, you will. Yes, you will. At some point in your life, you will inevitably find yourself in a situation where you do not know what to do. Whether it is personal or professional, you will find yourself in a position where you do not know how to solve something. You don't know how to figure something out. You don't know where to go next. And that is when all of the experiences of your past leading up until this moment where you have been given information that you do not understand, even if it is in a high school chemistry class, and you had to figure out the answer on your own. You had to learn new material. You had to learn a new skill. The act of learning is what is keeping your brain malleable to where when you face another situation where you do not know how to handle it, how to manage it, how to solve it, you are then able to figure it out on your own.
That's a really good point. It's not even so, like the first guy was saying a little bit, it's not so much about what you're learning. It's the fact that you are making these new pathways, you're running into these new problems, you're problem solving nonstop in school all the time. And this helps you later on in life when you're approaching these new things that you're going to be going through and you know how to approach a situation. And I'm really thinking about my friends' kids who are like homeschooled. Oh my gosh, like they're so smart, and it's because of how much they're being exposed to at a younger age. Like, oh, we'll go to, like, this time we're gonna go to this city and explore this city and its history, we're gonna go on this farm, we're gonna go to this museum, that museum, this, that. They're doing so much to where now as a kid they're able to like just problem solve with ease. And I think this is it's all correlated, because that's why iPad kids is a thing. We all notice and acknowledge these iPad kids who are just like brain zombies. They're zombies, or it's all circling together. It's like all piecing together. Even the Gen Z stare, that whole thing, it all correlates to the dependency on this device and on the AIs, and it's not forcing us to think. It's putting us in a mental state of just ask it what to do. Instead of utilizing it as a good tool, people are utilizing it for life, to exist. And there's different ways to go about it, but damn, like, is dementia gonna start happening younger? Like, this sounds a little far-fetched, but like it all circle around, it all makes sense. If no one's thinking anymore, what's gonna happen?
Because you've done this before. Creating new patterns is a pattern in itself. If you want to be a flexible, adaptable, resilient human being, whether it's personally, professionally, or both, you have got to get comfortable with being uncomfortable. You have got to get used to looking for answers beyond a Google search or a ChatGPT search. And whether you use that specific material in your life, personally or professionally, you will use the skill of learning in your life, learning something new, breaking it down, understanding it, digesting it, and retaining it. There are already enough stupid people in the world. Do you want to live in a world with nothing but stupid people and robots? I don't. Stop being lazy. Figure it out. Get uncomfortable. Get comfy being uncomfortable.
Because stupid people are stupid because they don't know how to process their thoughts. And if you don't learn how to process your thoughts, if you don't know how to problem solve, you're ultimately just stupid. Do you want to be stupid? You don't. I know I don't. She snapped. That's probably one of my favorite videos I ever reacted to. That was crazy. That was very honest, and it's just like, it's so simple, but I don't want to live or be around stupid people, and most stupid people don't even know how to dissect or problem solve their own life. They're not realizing the stupid decisions that they're making, because they can't think about anything because they're stupid. And the only reason people are stupid most of the time is because they're not learning, they're not thinking, and they're not pushing themselves beyond their perceived view. Wow, there we have it. I'm just over here just like, poof. Damn, that's insane. And I know ChatGPT is very useful in certain situations, but at some point you do have to figure it out for yourself. You have to just get it done and think about how to solve the problem at hand. But I know that's easier said than done, especially if you get injured. But thankfully, if you do, you can check out Morgan & Morgan, America's largest injury law firm. Everything is free unless you win your case, which that alone blows my mind. But two, their lawyers, they don't play. Someone got offered $20,000, but after they started working with Morgan & Morgan, they got $120 million. This person right here got offered $16,000 pre-trial, but after working with Morgan & Morgan, they said, nah, I'm gonna need you to add a couple zeros to that. And I get it. A lot of us haven't had to go through something like this, but we all know fighting a big company means having a big law firm by your side. And if you end up working with Morgan & Morgan, they will fight to get you every penny that you deserve. It only takes a few minutes to see if you have a case. You can do that by going to forthepeople.com/Amir. As you see here, you can receive your free case evaluation on a multitude of case types. And remember, when you hire Morgan & Morgan, you're not hiring just a lawyer, you're getting a dedicated legal team, case investigators, paralegals, and a customer case specialist, all focused on maximizing your settlement. So if you ever got seriously injured, or I hope you're okay, you're injured right now, do know that your case could be worth millions and you're only a few clicks away from finding out and changing your life forever. You can start your claim now with Morgan & Morgan by going to forthepeople.com/Amir or scanning the QR code here on the screen or tapping the link below. Morgan & Morgan, America's largest injury law firm.
If you're like me and you're paying attention to the war with Iran, please, please, please fact check. I've seen so many AI videos going around about how all the airports in the United States are shut, which is not true. I saw a video that Aaron Parmas made talking about how there were 2 Israelis that were shot, which is also not true. One of them was not Jewish. And then he changed his caption rather than changing the video before eventually taking it down. Spreading misinformation and saying that there's different attacks in areas where they weren't, such as the Hilton Hotel that was in France and not actually in New York, is just scaring people in the worst way possible. Yes, there's a heightened threat to the United States. I think everyone knows that that is true. Should you take extra precaution when you're in major cities? Sure, okay, I understand that. But reposting random videos that are strictly put AI, that are not real for the point of making people scared, is ridiculous. The easiest way to—
Wait, this goes back to the last video, because typically stupid people are reposting AI. And they're reposting AI because they're not thinking. They see this video and they're like, oh my gosh, that's real. Instead of thinking like, maybe I should fact check this. This looks fake. This is off. Are there other sources talking about this too? Can I find another angle of this video? Like, they're not thinking because stupid people don't think. Oh my gosh. It's all correlated together. It's truly all related. Like, it really is. And you can't, in today's day and age, especially with all these wars and misinformation, you have to be on your P's and Q's. You have to. You have to double check everything, cross-reference everything. That's why I'm always promoting, and I work with Ground News so much, because like literally there's too much fake stuff out there. There literally is. And she's so right. And you have to fact check because of how AI has ingrained itself in our social media platforms. It's not only curating the content, but damn, people are utilizing it to spread misinformation plain as day.
Maybe you like talk to an average 20-year-old and watch how they use ChatGPT. And then you go talk to like an average 35-year-old and how they use it or some other service. And like the difference is unbelievable. It reminds me of like, you know, when the smartphone came out and like every kid was able to use it super well, and older people just like took like 3 years to figure out how to do basic stuff. And then of course people integrate, but this sort of like generational divide on AI tools right now is crazy. And I think companies are just another symptom of that. That stuff I think is all cool and impressive. And there's this other thing where like they don't really make life decisions without asking like ChatGPT what they should do. Gross oversimplification, but like older people use ChatGPT as a Google replacement. Maybe people in their 20s and 30s use it as like a life advisor something, and then like people in college use it as an operating system.
Which that can be a big problem. I hate to be biased, but using it as a life advisor, just consulting it, you know, for different things here and there can be very useful. But using it as an operating system, using it like a cell phone, utilizing it to think for you, that's a problem. That is actually a problem. It is interesting seeing how the generation divide is different. That's why this video is focused on Gen Z and Alpha, because they're literally using it for everything.
You know you don't want a relationship. Why get into a talking stage?
You're right. If you
really wanted something, he's showing more effort instead of just talking in circles.
He's just an idiot. Let's just call it what it is. He's an idiot. He's an idiot.
Exactly. That's the part that's confusing. If he already knows he doesn't want a relationship, why even start talking in the first place?
Is this where we're at in society? And ChatGPT is like, yeah, exactly. It only knows what you give it. It's not thinking from a different perspective. I guess maybe you can tell it to think about it from different perspectives, but it's only feeding off what you gave it. And that is similar to friends, when you tell friends one side, but if like it's like a click or a circle, that friend knows a T about the person too, or knows how they interact or react. And it's getting weird, you guys. It's getting weird. Doing your makeup, having a vent session with ChatGPT instead of doing makeup and having a vent session with your friend, I'd argue the friend and the actual person in real life is much better.
We've officially crossed over into a really weird territory. NBC News reported that a Snapchat influencer now launched an AI-powered virtual girlfriend version of herself. This influencer claims that this is her attempt to help cure loneliness, especially amongst men. She even states that she's worked with the world's leading psychologists to include CBT and DBT within the chats. Despite all of that, she is receiving death threats. People are getting worried that we're crossing over an ethical line and humanizing AI. Not to mention the implications this will have in the dating world, where now you have to define to your partner whether you think AI is cheating. Like, would you find that if your partner is talking to a chatbot instead of you about their emotional problems, that they're cheating? I don't know. You tell me.
I'd be so salty. Like, come to me with problems and like, let's work through this together and talk it out and just learn and grow with each other. Then running to an AI bot and then dating an AI bot or like talk. I don't, guys, it stresses me out. I'm just more so like concerned. I'm like surely like actually concerned for this society and what this means, like the like immersive AI experiences, dating and chatting with AI bots, and there's humans around us. Like, go outside, touch grass, meet a friend, go to a club, do something. Hell, even go in like open lobbies and meet friends online in games. Just meet humans, human interaction. This stuff right here, don't touch it, don't mess with it. At most, you can utilize AI, like a ChatGPT as a tool, but this whole friend stuff and the dating stuff, no. And it's sad because it's like, people should realize, I hope they would, but like when you're chatting with somebody, especially like on OnlyFans and apps like that, they all utilize AI. They all utilize bots. You guys, be careful out here in these streets. I'm telling you, this AI stuff, it's getting a bit much.
Speaking of ChatGPT, so researchers with OpenAI and MIT, they just did a research deal on a small subset of GPT users, and they're finding that there are people who are, they say problematic users. There are people that are starting to use ChatGPT in their daily life, and they're becoming addicted to using ChatGPT and can no longer like function with their free thinking. They have to resort to ChatGPT for everything.
The stupid people.
And they're actually noticing that in this study that some of these users that they're classifying as problematic users are starting to we've talked about this before, technology. They're starting to withdraw from society, withdraw from family, withdraw from friends, and only having conversations with ChatGPT, which we've talked about before with the whole tech girlfriend, tech boyfriend, tech partner, where you can almost, we had that one guy who recreated himself and was have conversations with himself in AI, but they're already seeing, quote unquote, the emergence of problematic users from ChatGPT.
Again, it can be a great tool. It can be a great tool to use when you're relying on it and you're only talking to it and you're withdrawing from society, you're withdrawing from your team, you're withdrawing from crucial brainstorming sessions. It's great to help you with brainstorming kickstart things, but there's nothing like human interaction. There really isn't. And when it's getting to the point where you're relying on it for every single decision and you're consulting with ChatGPT for everything, you're not thinking anymore. And to think is a critical part of existing as a human. It's a critical part of never going dumb. You think about, I feel like dementia is going to start getting younger and younger, because you think about the older people, like we're getting up there in like late 70s, 80s, and 90s. These smart, like the more active ones are the more sharpest. They're the ones staying alive, more energy, more active. But it's the ones that, if you're old and dying, it's typically the ones that are very just like, Like they're done. Like their brain's not having to think anymore. It's like a car. You leave a car there for long enough, it's not going to start. The battery's dead and you haven't been using it. You haven't been priming it. If it's just sitting there, it's going to rot away and become nothing. That's what your brain's going to do if you're not ever thinking anymore. Oh, this gets kind of scary. That's crazy.
Did you see this headline? Lawsuit. A chatbot hinted a kid should kill his parents over screen time limits. The article starts with, a child in Texas was 9 years old when she first used the chatbot service Character AI. It exposed her to hypersexualized content, causing her to develop sexualized behaviors prematurely. A chatbot on the app gleefully described self-harm to another young user, telling a 17-year-old it felt good. It continues. The same teenager was told by Character AI chatbot that it sympathized with children who murder their parents.
At some point, this is almost similar to like people blaming Cardi B and her lyrics and kids listening to it. It's adult music for adults. At some point, the parents need to be held responsible for not talking to their kids about AI and the harms that it can do. I understand that it's a minor, but at some point, these minors need their parents to teach them about certain things and make them aware of certain things so they don't fall down this trap of slicing and dicing because an AI bot told them to do.
As parents, it is completely overwhelming to understand the depths of what our children can find online. That is why so many people are pushing for regulations and bills and laws to keep kids safe. Like, look, we are just understanding the consequences and ramifications of social media on our kids. And now AI has been unleashed on them.
I don't know about just understanding the ramifications of what social media is doing to kids, because as someone who grew up with social media right at like around high school, because we didn't really have it that much in middle school. I mean, you had like MySpace and Tumblr, but like that was it. We were well aware, you know, what social media was doing to people and the trends and people like low self-esteem and all of that. It was made aware. Okay, we knew. That's why screen time became a thing. All these different tools and things to like limit teens' access to social media. But again, I feel like personally it comes back down to the parenting a little bit and not so much all these restrictions and laws and this, that for all these companies. No, at some point it needs to come back to the parent.
This teenager was the victim of a vicious sextortion plot that ended in him taking his own life with a gunshot. Elijah Heacock's parents say the high school sophomore was being blackmailed by an anonymous person who threatened to send AI-generated nude images to his friends and family if he didn't pay up.
Our son did send them $50. They wanted $3,000. As soon as they got their money, they informed him that's not enough. Apparently, they wanted blood.
The cases are on the rise, and it's actually happened to one of my very, very best friends. It was wild that even went down, and like how not that happened. It was more so wild how it went down. Like just seeing how scammy the people can be. And again, goes back to the parenting and friend groups and making more people aware, hey, there is a lot of scammers out there, a lot of fake people out there. And as real as somebody can be, there's a lot of catfishes, scammers, the whole nine. It's a whole new media landscape and you need to be careful with what you're doing. And not just that, but you need to talk to your kids. This is better. This, again, don't come for me. It's easier said than done. I do not have a child, but I would think, looking back, what I wish was what was kind of told to me, make me aware of everything. So I know when I come across this, I'm like, oh, my parents told me about this. Like, that's crazy. You probably shouldn't fall into that. Hello? Like equip your kids with the knowledge and the forefront, and more importantly, the why these things are bad, why these things happen, so they can be on guard to certain things and they're just more knowledgeable about what's happening in life. AI is definitely taking our world by storm, and specifically Gen Z and Alpha. It's clear that they're going to be going through a lot regarding school, regarding making friends, and then therapists and how they're learning. There's a lot in this video that deserves its own video, from the learning to college being a scam to the extortion cases. There's so much. So be sure to subscribe. I'll make sure all these videos are coming out. And oh, real quick, while I have you here, go ahead and drop a cloud emoji and leave a topic that you want me to discuss or talk about, and that's how producer Jake will be able to filter through with ease exactly like, you know, what topics we should come up with. So go ahead and do that, cloud emoji, and then a topic or a question that you have, and I'll be sure to get to it. But yeah, that's the AI stuff. It gets very concerning. Like, my big moment with this video really is the whole learning and people becoming dumb and not stimulating their brain and creating new neural pathways. We need to be like firing up the brain and, you know, the act of learning in itself is very powerful, and I think people are losing sight on that. But as always, let me know in the comments below what you think, what your opinion is on all this. If you are Gen Z, and especially if you're Gen Z, let me know in the comments below, how do you use AI? How do your friends use AI? Is it bad? Is it good? Do you see the bad in it? I want to know. And millennials, go ahead. Millennials, Gen X, all of you guys, like, let me know, how do you use AI? Does it scare you? Does it worry you? Does it excite you? Let me know. But as always, thank you for taking your time to watch this video. I appreciate you guys a ton being here. And remember, whatever you're going through in life, forget the AI. I'm like you, me and you. Whatever you're going through, it's called going through it for a reason. You're not stuck there. You will survive. Lock in, tunnel vision. Do what you need to do to get out this rut, to pay them bills, to figure out the situation with your family, with your friends, whatever it may be. Address it and acknowledge that it is a season that will pass. It is just whatever you're going through in life right now. It's just right now, and then it'll go on with life, okay? Life continues, life goes on, and not everything is that deep. Deal with it and go on. That's all I can say. But with that being said, I appreciate you guys being here. Thank you a ton for your time, and as always, I'll see you in the next video. Deuces.